Greetings everybody. So this video is going to be about the Corpus Callosum. If you don't know what it is, it's basically what connects the left and the right side of your brain. So a great man that talks about this stuff is Seven Bomar. Check him out online. Has a lot of information that may help, or it definitely will help anybody that's trying to expand and just basically progress, evolve. So I was doing some breathing techniques. I was about to take a nap, so I was laying down, doing some of my breathing techniques. Had some cool little relaxing music on, and I started drifting. My body went numb, and I started drifting away. Basically, is how I can explain it. Is my thoughts just went, and I'm not logically thinking about anything. But I realized something after it took about 20 minutes. That I could see, I could basically see how I had my left side of the brain had its own thought process and my right side of the brain had its own thought process, and I was like the middle, and I was observing both. I was observing my brain thinking about different things, just talking to itself, and this side. And it was a beautiful experience. I can't explain it, but it was just beautiful. I was like, whoa, I'm like a third person observing my own brain. And it was crazy. It had its own storylines, and it was thinking of its own, it was working on its own. I didn't even need to be, I was just like a third person, just interesting, right? So that wasn't the only experience I had. About like a week after that, I'm laying there and I'm watching, basically I'm watching some comedy, stand-up comedy. And I'm watching the stand-up comic talk about certain things, right? And he's explaining a story. And I'm listening to him. But once he switched his topic, I thought his last topic was funny, so I was laughing at it, thinking about it. And then I realized that I had this huge story, this whole plot of what he was talking about expanded in my own brain in my own version. And I was like, wait a minute, but I'm not thinking of that. And I realized that I was listening to him with one side of my brain while my other side of the brain was interpreting it totally different. And it had its own thought, like its own story. Like I was laughing at what he was saying logically, but the other side of my brain was just going off on its own tangent. So it was very interesting to experience these things, to see how my brain is interacting with itself and thinking of a bunch of things. And it also goes to show how vast our brain is, how much power it has, what it's capable of. You could be doing one, thinking of another, and having a third thing happen, listening, hearing, smelling, everything at once, talking. So they say we only use 10% of our brain. Incorrect. We use 100%, but maybe 10%, 20% at one time. That's the average human, or the masses, we'll say, the ones that are asleep. If you're watching this video, you are basically awake. You are more into the evolution, the progress, to the new stuff that's coming in, the higher vibrations. So you can do this. We all can. So expand your mind. Work with it. Practice. How could you practice? Well, I could say basically take time with yourself. They always say look within. So how do you do this? It's pretty simple. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I always thought I was missing something in life. I always thought, well, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I thought there's going to be some crazy answer. Well, it's not that crazy. It's basically just take 20 minutes, sit there, and just concentrate on breathing. Just fill up your diaphragm, your stomach, and breathe your nose, mouth for starters. Don't get all too technical. Just concentrate on your breathing. That's it. Just and if your brain is still, if you're breathing and you're thinking of things still, count. Give your brain a task. Count how many times how many breaths you've taken. So just do this and just relax and just watch what happens. Just watch the beautiful colors and this and that, and things will start happening, right? And basically, this is how I've noticed it, is that the more I've done it, like I did it the first time and I was like, wow, like, oh, this happened. And then because it's the first time something happened, like the first time I saw a color, or first time I had a sensation, or I feel electricity out of my hand, I get so tripped out, and my brain locks onto that, and all of a sudden it ruins it. And then I after once, twice, three times, you keep doing it, and then you'll get used to that sensation. You'll be like, oh, that's, it's just a normal thing. It won't be so, and then you'll just keep building it up. You'll get used to more sensations and more sensations, and it'll be like you'll be one with yourself, and you'll be relaxed, and these sensations will be normal to you now. You'll feel energy, and it'll be normal to you. Like at one time, I had this kundalini just blast in my mind, and I had this like I was sitting there and I thought to myself, I was watching this movie Chronicle, and I thought to myself, I heard the phrase, it's a muscle, so we need to build it just like if you were working out. And I paused the movie right there. I was like, it's a muscle. I know this. Why don't I use it? And then all of a sudden, boom! I had this kundalini blow up, and all of a sudden I got so hot, and I had my eyes closed, and everything was radiating. It got so white, like this white light, and I opened my eyes, and there wasn't no sun beaming into my room, but everything was light, like when I had my eyes closed. And then another time, I just sat in meditation, just did simple breathing, just relaxed. Research whole body breathing, different types like this. Just practice it. Just try it. You'll get used to these things, and then you'll go higher and higher, higher vibration, and you'll start experiencing yourself. Experience who you are, opening yourself, being more with yourself. And I had this thing where I basically had this electricity connect from these two fingers, and so every time, like, it would pulsate. It pulsated for like 3-4 days, and every time I went like this, I could feel like this connection. It was just zapping. It was kind of intense. So anyway, we're all capable of these things. Love you all. Do your research. If you want it, like a phrase I heard the other day, you have to want it as much as you want to breathe. Then it will happen. You have to want it. Not for everybody. For some people, it just comes natural. But for some people, it doesn't. So if you want it, it'll happen. Set your intent and practice. Love you all. Balancing the vibrations of wholeness.